Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another weather forecast here. This is actually a second video today, and it actually came out a lot earlier because I saw the major update here on the SPC outlook for tomorrow, and it's actually a major update. No, we don't have a moderate risk. It has not been added yet, but we still have a huge update on the enhanced risk. We have millions have been added in many states now, so that's a huge, widespread threat now for tornadoes, and that is incredibly widespread, a lot more widespread than earlier. So this is what we're going to be talking about again. We're going to be continuing to look at the maps that I made earlier today. Again, the risk where we have out here, going to be talking about again the major updates here. Going to be looking at the timing and where the worst of these severe weather bands will be tomorrow, and out here into as well throughout today out here in the south central and southeast with this major tornado outbreak here for Dixie Alley and the south central tornado alley as well. But again, we're going to be looking at major updates here. These are extremely important. So please watch the whole video so you have as much information as possible so that you are prepared for this major outbreak here. And again, please subscribe if you're new. I want to thank you guys all so much for the support in the past couple of days. We're just getting a ton of new supporters, and it means a lot. Also, please be sure to share the channel to any friends or family that you think will definitely need all this information as much as possible so that they are ready. And also, in case you just think they love my weather forecast, be sure to share the channel. But without further ado, let's get in this video. So again, these are the maps that I showed in the video I made a couple the video I made earlier this morning. So again, this is still again very accurate, and again, this is not the SPC outlook. Just so you guys know before you guys start saying we don't have an enhanced risk, we don't have a moderate risk, or we don't have a high risk. Again, these are the exact same colors as the SPC. I just thought I can use it so you guys can see. It helps you guys understand. But again, this is the risk. This is obviously. This is a map to see who can have the highest risk for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds today. So it's not the SPC outlook, just so you guys know again. So as you can tell in the pink area, this is where we have our highest risk for very large tornadoes, extremely large hail, and powerful and damaging winds today. So again, in that pink area, if you are in that pink area, you definitely really need to be on the lookout and definitely want to possibly have a tornado plan in case you have a tornado either go to the basement or a middle room. So again, that's where we have. It's going to be east of Dallas and also east of Ardmore. That's going to be for much of southeastern Oklahoma and also northeastern Texas. Definitely be seeing a very big threat for tornadoes there as well. Damaging winds and extremely large hail. We've already seen 2-inch size hail in some of these areas that are in the orange color, which means a very good chance as well for severe weather again. In that red color again for Ardmore, where we have Dallas and even Fort Worth, you guys are in that red color, which means you guys have a very good chance. The second best chance for incredibly strong bands of severe weather. Very powerful tornadoes with likely here strong west tornadoes and again major tornadoes, maybe EF3 or larger in some of these areas in southeastern Oklahoma and northeastern Texas. We'll start seeing these extremely large bands continuing on right now. That's why we had tornado watches, and these worst of the bands will actually continue moving east all the way into the evening hours, which is why we have that orange for areas in western Louisiana and Arkansas, because they have a bit of a very high threat for again tornadoes and large hail. But again, the highest of the risk for all three of those is going to maintain in Oklahoma and Texas. So that's where we've seen the worst of it today. As we now get into with the worst of it tomorrow, again, this is what we're looking at for the worst of tomorrow. They have extended again this enhanced risk, which is actually good because I put a yellow here for areas in North Carolina and South Carolina. So again, even if you're in the yellow or orange, you may be under the highest risk for like level wise, but it doesn't mean you're gonna have the best chance for all three: tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. Again, in that pink area, we have the highest risk for all of that. So if you're in the pink or even close to the pink, well, let me just put it this way: if you're in the orange or higher, you definitely be on the lookout. So again, I'm actually glad I put this orange color north of Atlanta, because that's where they have issued a higher tornado risk. So I'm actually glad I'm actually in the enhanced risk now, and so are many more of my viewers. I'm actually in the orange here on my own map as well. But again, very strong bands throughout Birmingham. Atlanta, Savannah, Georgia, Mobile, scattered areas in Tallahassee, and even again out there into near the Macon, Georgia area. Again, definitely seeing over there very powerful bands. And then as we get closer into the red and pink, that's where we're seeing the worst of it. Again, very strong tornadoes, almost guaranteeing these areas. Supercells hook echoes are very likely here, with a lot of debris to be out here near Albany and Columbus, Georgia. And also near the border with Alabama and Georgia, much of southwestern Georgia and southeastern Alabama. You guys are going to be seeing possibly the biggest threat for tornadoes. Definitely going to be seeing a lot of red dots in these areas for tomorrow's severe weather report, and also in the red as well. That's going to be much for central Georgia and the far northwestern panhandle of Florida, near the Tallahassee area and just north central Florida. You guys have a bit of a lower risk than the SPC is making it seem. The only reason why you guys have a 30%, or the only reason why we have that enhanced risk for Florida or for the Tallahassee area, is because of the wind threat. But now let's get into the real models. So again, here's the SPC outlook here for today, or for today. Again, we have that. This is the area of focus right here. This is where we have to watch out for, again, very good chance for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. Again, where we have the highest threat for all of those, again, is where we had that pink and red color, which is right here. This is where we have to watch out for that very big chance for, again, large tornadoes and extremely large hail, possibly 2 to 3 inches of diameter, 2 to 3 inches. So again, we've already had ping pong sized hail and getting closer to possibly baseball sized hail. But again, where we have a large no throughout scattered areas into the south central, although as far east as Alabama, and then as far west as areas in western Oklahoma. Again, that marginal risk, we're going to be seeing mainly scattered thunderstorms, not going to be seeing a very big threat for tornadoes, supercells, or any of that with those severe weather bands. But again, definitely be seeing heavy rain pockets in these areas, so just might want to have your device next to you just in case, but it shouldn't be necessary. And again, now the slight risk, again, that's going to be we have a step up in the bigger, now we have a better chance for seeing severe weather bands, a decent chance for seeing tornadoes in these areas, decent chance for possibly seeing, again, this sort of hail threat is going to be very widespread. Even the marginal risk, we're going to be seeing very large hail. We've already seen half an inch sized hail in some of these areas in the marginal. So yeah, without a doubt, hail threat is very high. So if you're in the enhanced risk, you can possibly see, again, at the 3-inch size hail, maybe even softball sized hail, because the hail threat is just skyrocketing for today. Again, then when they have the enhanced risk, that's where our highest risk for today for large tornadoes, supercells, hook echoes, and a ton of debris, of course, with a straight line of winds as well. Again, a ton of rotation as well. Again, that's going to be for much of the Oklahoma area. We have it now extending to Mississippi a little bit. Of course, the Fort Worth, Dallas area out there near Shreveport. You guys are definitely going to get some very strong bands later today. Again, tornado threat still at a 10% chance, has not really been different. Again, where we had that 10% chance, that's where we have that really the orange all the way to the pink. That is where we have that 10% chance there throughout Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and northeastern Texas. Again, that's where we have a very good chance for seeing tornadoes, and sadly, we might have a very good chance for overnight tornadoes, which I believe twice or 3 times as deadly as daylight tornadoes. So that is not good whatsoever. We do not need overnight tornadoes with the areas that have got impacted with the past couple of weeks. Again, hail threats really high now. I think it should be extended to a 45% chance, and I know I might sound crazy, but it should be extended to a 60% chance as well, because the amounts of hail and the size of this hail will be crazy. I know if it goes to a 45% chance, it would be most likely for a moderate risk, but I really think this hail percentage should be a lot higher, because people are not going to be seeing this large hail coming with just a 30% chance there into northeastern Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. And wind threat, again, is going to be very high as well. Going to be really seeing very strong thunderstorm winds with these thunderstorms, and some of these bands will be moving up to 60 miles per hour, moving at 60 miles per hour. So this is going to be bringing a lot of straight line winds, and then even if we have a hook echo, that'll be even causing even more widespread winds, would be rotating. Again, here's the day 2 outlook. Look how different this is now. I'm actually now in the enhanced risk. Now we have this enhanced risk almost in the Virginia border, which is incredibly crazy, because we had the slight chance barely in North Carolina. Now somehow we have an enhanced risk for North Carolina, which is crazy. As you can tell, the enhanced risk is now moving a bit more east, or a lot more eastward, but it's also now starting to remove from Louisiana, so it might be out of Louisiana by the end of today, and it's continuing to move out of Mississippi. But again, this enhanced risk is very widespread now. We have 20 plus million people in it now. Earlier on, I think we only had like 10 million. We've added a couple states, or we've actually added a state, but now we've added a ton of counties. Atlanta's back in business here. We're having this enhanced risk. I'm actually just in the enhanced risk. I'm not too far from the border with a slight risk, but I am in this enhanced risk now, and it will possibly continue to move northward. A very almost the whole state of South Carolina is now under this enhanced risk. Again, very high risk for tornadoes now. It's a very, very widespread again, including now this enhancement for the panhandle. The only reason why it's in that panhandle area and Big Bend area is because of the wind threat. But if you're in the western panhandle, then there's a very good reasoning. It's because the tornado threat actually will be decently high for the western panhandle. Again, continuously, and now this enhanced risk is now in Birmingham, or Birmingham's just on the border of the enhanced risk and slight risk, again, including areas near the state line. Mississippi area, you guys are also under this enhanced risk. Again, look at this tornado threat. It is incredibly high now. I'm actually just in the border with a 10% chance and 5% chance. And yeah, so technically I am in 10% chance. So it's Atlanta, Macon, like where you have that pink area where I have the pink under that 10% chance as well. So as you can tell, my maps are having my maps aren't just because I said so. It's because I'm looking at comparing to models and all that and making it there. But again, 10% chance now. As you can tell, not all of the areas that are under an enhanced risk are under that 10% chance, because I know when we have the enhanced risk, it tends to mean that they all have the highest risk for tornadoes. But actually, it depends on exactly where in the enhanced risk you are, because again, we have the enhanced risk now in Florida and in Louisiana, and even again a bit more further south in Georgia, but they only have 5% chance. So the 10% chance means you're definitely gonna be seeing a very high risk for tornadoes. So I might have to watch out now. Definitely gonna be including now areas near South Carolina, near Columbia, including Charlotte now, getting closer and closer to Raleigh, much of near Montgomery, on the border with Birmingham. So again, very, very widespread with tornado threat. Now the hail threat, I'm actually now in that 15% chance, and this 15% chance became a very, very widespread. It's actually in Virginia. This 15% chance is actually in Virginia all the way to Louisiana. Definitely a lot more widespread there. And then again, definitely a very high risk for, again, very large hail to move in these areas, possibly again maybe a half an inch, maybe 2 inch size hail moving through Georgia, again the Carolinas. Looks like they might have smaller sized hail as these bands do calm down just a tad, but by Friday they do strengthen once again. But again, near the Carolinas, maybe half an inch size hail, maybe an inch, but again, very large hail and very widespread. And the wind threat's also very widespread. I'm actually in that 30% chance for wind, so I'm actually in the highest risk for everything. So again, definitely a very big risk, and we have that 30% chance for Florida. And I hate to break it to you, but those people in Florida, the only reason why you are in the enhanced risk is because of a wind threat is very high for you. So you guys shouldn't be actually on the lookout as much as the enhanced risk says. But again, still need to watch out just in case anything does happen unexpectedly. And that's what we're looking at here for tomorrow. Now, time to look at the NAM3KM model radar. Very strong bands happening again. We're going to be seeing multi-cell systems. We're definitely, as we look at the radar scope, we are seeing a ton of mesocyclones, or again, definitely strong bands here. Again, definitely have multiple cells here, as you can tell, and then a lot of them are mesocyclones or supercells. And that's going to continue moving down to eastern Texas. Also, continue to see that threat out there near the Tulsa area, and that will diminish into the Missouri. And then by later tomorrow morning, this threat becomes a lot more widespread now into areas into southern Arkansas, seeing very powerful straight line linear lines bands that's going to be moving now into the Alabama area, moving to Mississippi, going to bring extremely strong rain. And again, as you can tell, the new radar, it is showing a lot more thunderstorms now for northern Georgia. And again, look at these straight line winds, or these straight line bands again, or actually looking that we have wall cloud formations, which is not good. Again, definitely be seeing extremely strong bands moving to the Atlanta, Georgia area, into northeastern Georgia. Very powerful supercells. This is definitely be seeing a ton of hail, and this you can just really tell into now southwestern Georgia, south central Georgia, and then we have more bands developing to central Georgia. You'd think it's over, but it's not. We have two major waves that's going to be affecting many areas like Savannah, Georgia, including now the Valdosta area, Columbus, Georgia, and again the Carolinas. That's actually why we have that enhanced risk now, because we're going to be seeing some stronger bands there. Now we're going to be looking again at the STP here, significant tornado parameter. This is really the risk of tornadoes. Again, this risk can get a lot higher as it does move eastward. Now I'm going to be seeing up to an 8 on this SCP, which is actually very high. That's going to be for eastern Texas. That's why we have that very high risk for tornadoes out here all the way into the Louisiana area. That does diminish a little bit now into tomorrow morning. That threat for tornadoes will diminish, but as we now continue to move on tomorrow and the afternoon hours, we're going to be seeing this risk going a bit rising up again. Being now seeing a 7.7 here, around an 8 into Alabama, and then we'll be seeing continue to see this risk now out here into Georgia. But again, won't be as high as the as of right now. Won't be as high as what we saw again with the Easter one. Of course, that was just crazy. Now we're looking at the supercell composite parameter. This is actually going to be measuring the chance for, or the risk for seeing supercells. And this should be a lot higher actually, because we've already seen supercells in these areas that have brought again up to 2-inch size tail. That's the largest I've seen so far out of the reports. And I've seen also flooding basements as well. So again, flooded basements around again 18 on the SCP throughout areas into northeastern Texas, southeastern Oklahoma. That's where we have that pink and red color there, because the supercell composite parameter is very high, producing again a large hail, damaging winds and tornadoes and stuff. In just one supercell can just do a lot of damage. Gonna be seeing already up to a 21 now in this SCP as it just crossed the border with Louisiana. Gonna see now at 22. Gonna continue. And then again, will get very high by very early Thursday, and then it will diminish once again. It does diminish into the morning hours and afternoon a little bit. It doesn't get very low. It's still at a 15, which is actually it's still a good chance for severe supercells. But again, still seeing that the number is going a bit lower there. And again, now we're going to be looking at the southeast here. So again, now let's look at the SCP here for the supercells. Again, then the percentage or the risk for supercells does increase in now into the Western Panhandle. That's why we have the enhanced risk there for the Panhandle, not only because of the winds, but also the Western Panhandle actually is really likely to continue to see that enhanced risk. But the Tallahassee area, I don't necessarily think we should have enhanced risk, but again, just seeing that threat again throughout also Alabama. Going to be seeing it to a 14 to around a 18.6 in the SCP, which is very high. And going to continue seeing it up to a 32. A 32 now on the SCP, which is incredibly high. That is a almost guaranteed chance for seeing supercells. And going to continue to see those numbers getting higher and higher into central Georgia as we continue to see these multiple supercells and large, of course, wedge tornadoes, and of course those wall cloud formations. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and bye guys.